Well, you and I are not too different in that, I was dating who's now my wife. I did marry her. My girlfriend all through high school and then college. We were together for a long time. And there were so many times where I was like, what am I doing? Why am I with this girl, right? I could have been with, as far as physical attraction is concerned, she's not even my type. Oh, I wasn't even my type. I like girls with big booties. My girl's skinny. She's like, thin. She's a little girl. I like these big, thick, voluptuous women. I mean, not anymore. I don't even look at these chicks. They just look like trouble to me. But when I was younger, I'm like, well, what am I doing with this girl? And I was in the same boat as you because it was like, but she's so good. She's so good. She had every box checked off for someone that would make a good wife and a good mother on so many different fronts. But here I am, living in America in the 90s, listening to rap music and MTV and Britney Spears. And I'm thinking, I need to go get me a hot chick and go hang out on a yacht. And I would battle with myself. I fight myself. I even found myself I try to break up with her sometimes. But she wouldn't let go. She was just like, okay. She let me just fight. She let me think I'm going to break up, but then she would just show up the next day. And I'm like, what are you doing here? I was fated to be with this woman, and man, I'm so grateful that I didn't get what I thought I wanted and that God placed her with me for life, because it is hard to find a good woman out there. I'm not in the playing field you are, but I hear from you guys all the time. Man, I had that one girl. She was a good girl. I should have married her, but I let her go. Then they went and spent, another 5 years being promiscuous. That girl goes and gets married, has a great husband, great wife, has a great life, has great kids, and they're kicking themselves. They're beating themselves up. So I don't know exactly what you need to do. I don't know anything about this girl or your relationship, but I know that if you find a good girl, my experience has been, hold on, because you ain't gonna come across too many of them. And the longer you wait, the older these chicks get, the more rotten they become. Marry young, find a young girl, marry young. And if you know she's a good wife, here's the other thing too, man. I get it in terms of physical attraction. Physical attraction is important. But physical attraction, there's a couple things with physical attraction. It's a trick. It's a mirage. It's a lie, because you could be physically attractive, but just be a terrible person. But you could be moderate looking, basic looking, and just have a heart of gold and just be an amazing person. And I'm not saying it as a cop out, it's inner beauty, right? You get these fat black Lizzo bitches who are talking about, I got inner beauty. No, you don't have inner, you're outer and inner ugly. That's what a lot of these women who talk about inner beauty are. But if you know a woman who's going to make a good wife and she's got all the right qualities, think about it like a job interview, right? If you're running a business, are you going to hire a guy because he drives a nice car, or because he's tall, or are you going to, are you going to hire him because you like the way he dresses, or are you going to hire him because he's the best man for the job, because he's has a proven track record of getting the job done, of being loyal, being consistent, being on time, being a hard worker. My wife literally, I just ate steak before I got here. This is the conversation that we had. My wife is cooking me steak right before we get in here, and I just say thank you. I was like, yeah, thank you for the steak. And she says, I just want to be a great wife to you. This is what my wife literally said. I just want to be a great wife to you, right? She's playing cutesy with me, and I'm like, you're doing a great job. She's like, if there's anything that I could ever do to be a better wife, just tell me. This is literally what my wife is telling me. Imagine I would have let that go. There's no woman that says that, or it's very rare. You might have one. I know there are guys that do have wives that do stuff like that, but it's very rare. And if I would have let her go because I wish she had bigger body parts, I would have lost out on an amazing thing. So there's that, the physical attraction thing. Like, if my wife lost all her hair and teeth, if she lost one of her eyeballs and one of her arms, and I gotta carry her, I gotta push her around in a wheelchair, I would not go anywhere. I would stay 100% with that woman because of what she can do, what she has done, and who she is as a person. But here's the last thing in terms of physical attraction, or there's two things. Number one, you got to recognize that DNA is a real thing. And so if she's so ugly that your kids are going to struggle in school, you might want to save your future kids. My kids are good looking. They're good looking kids. So it's like, whew, okay. But if you're a good looking guy and you marry an ugly girl and your kids are ugly, they're going to curse you. Anyway, this is what my mom used to say. My mom used to say, in terms of like, someone to choose, she says, as long as you're looking down at that person, she's talking about sex. My mom has a dirty mouth. She says, as long as you're looking down at her and while you're doing it and you're okay, if your kid's coming out looking like that, then keep going. But if you look at that and you don't want your kids to look like that, you got to stop right away. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, you can make yourself attracted to someone. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I don't know if it's a kinky thing or a weird thing, but it's like, even like some of my wife's like physical flaws, like, she's like, she wants to get rid of it. She got like this little mole right here. And I'm like, don't get rid of the mole. Leave the mole. I like the mole. She's like, no, it's growing hair. And she's getting old and it could turn cancerous and it's getting bigger, whatever. So she's right. She probably needs to get rid of it. But I'm like, no, I like it. It just reminds me of you. I just want to kiss it and rub your mole. It's weird, but it turns me on. Why? Because she is attractive to me, not the mole or the missing eye or and you can make those things, like I said, you can make those things attractive, right? Yeah, right. Like, hey, listen, babe, I love that. I love your stumps. Maybe she got arms cut off. I love your stumps. I have one friend. He's got a wife who's a paraplegic, who's in a wheelchair, and he married her that way. And I'm like, dude, how do you even, what were you thinking? And he's like, I just love her so much. And he's like, he just gets turned on. And he's like, yeah, her in a wheelchair. It's just, I see her rolling around the kitchen. I just want to get behind that. So, you can choose to be attracted to what you want to be attracted to. I know that for a fact. You can make yourself attracted. Not like you have to force yourself, but just based on the way that person is, it's like, man, you just make yourself beautiful because of the way you are. Does that make sense?
Porn. 68% of church-going men watch it secretly, hiding this vice from their wife. For other men, it's alcohol or drug use. Are you willing to risk your marriage, family, and finances for sinful pleasures and vice? Or are you ready to fight back? If you're a married Christian businessman or entrepreneur, caught in the clutches of drinking, drugs, or jerking off, realize that every moment spent in these vices is literally destroying your life. Is this the man God called you to be? To live like this? If you're ready to go to war against vice and take your life back, here's my advice. Click the link in this video or visit waronvice.com to book a call with me to see if we're a good fit for going into battle together. I'll see you on the inside.